I think Eddie and Rec may be jumping on. Let me hit Rec real quick.
What? Please don't enlarge my face.
Enlarge it. Your face ain't never large.
My face, when Kill enlarges it, yeah, it's large. It's a little too much face.
Hey,
So
Kill does that for the viewers whenever you're making those little smirks and stuff when somebody says something you don't like.
Oh my God, no!
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Kill has been amazing and hasn't done that for a little while now. So let's keep it that way, Kill. Thank you, good brother. Thank you, good brother, Kill.
Of course, I already got you. Let me just see this.
Is Eddie not jumping on?
He said he was earlier. I just texted him. So let me see something real quick.
How your wife doing, man?
Man, everybody is good, man. No complaints, man. No complaints at all.
Word, same here. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. The only thing with us is this month actually makes 6 years that my wife's cancer free.
Oh, that's
oh my God.
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing. Good.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Amen. But you know, her immune system, because of that history, is compromised. So, you know, we got to take the little precautions that we've always had, but even more so now.
How are the kids?
Everybody's good. You know, my son Quinn, who's autistic, that I talk about a lot of times in the group chat. He, you know, not being in school is a little bit of a. He don't really care for it all that much, but
you know, going a little stir crazy.
Oh yeah, he does that whether he's in school or not, because he's my road dog. Me and him, we take rides all over the city every weekend. So, you know, with stuff like this, him being home every single day, you know, the weekend is almost every day for him. So he's kind of expecting, you know, especially with me being home now, he's like, hey, look, we need to be rolling out. We need to go take us a ride. So I try to hold him off for the weekend, because if he gets too used to it, he's going to be wanting to do it all the time. He's like, you know how Rain Man will repeat certain things. He will say ride until I get the keys and leave.
Oh, geez, yeah.
He will give me my wallet, keys, and if I'm not wearing shoes, and that means we need to go.
Right.
Yeah, well, God bless you, man. That's a huge thing, man. Just, you know, especially with everything that's going on now. But let's do some hip hop. Tell me this.
Sir.
I hate album intros. Hate them. Can't stand them. Don't see the point of them. This is all coming from Lulu. I put on Lulu last night. I hear a beat, and I'm like, all right, Conway about to jump in right here. And then I'm hearing pieces from Paid in Full. I'm hearing Conway talking. I'm like, all right, boom. He about to jump in. And here comes the verse. And there's no verse. And then it just goes on. What is the point of the intro? Like Porsche, I know you said you love them. So like help me and let me, for everybody watching or whatever, for me an intro, I'm defining an intro as when there's a beat and no rapping. You know what I mean? Like, so like on what would Sheen Gun do when Raekwon is just talking for 40 minutes? Like that's an intro to me. Like it just doesn't make, so I'm not talking about the only, and then we'll talk about other ones. But so Porsche, with the intro being that definition, do you like did you like the intro to Lulu, or how are you with hip hop intros?
You know, I mean, we talked about this very briefly on the TL today. I treat album intros like an intro to a book. So it's kind of like a short snippet, like that should give you a glimpse into what you're going to get as you proceed. Like, you know, you turn the pages, you move the tracks. Right. I'm a little bit more lenient with album intros because this is an audio experience. So for me, I don't need rapping. I don't need, it could be snippets. It can be sort of whatever, but it better be cohesive. So don't like waste my time with it. Don't give me, you know, something that has nothing to do with anything on what is about to go down that I'm about to hear. So I don't want to be hearing like, you know, some orchestra, but then you're going to give me like, you know, something completely polar opposite than that. So for me, on Lulu particularly, I kind of liked it. I think it was sort of cohesive with the whole project. So I wasn't mad at it, to be honest. I didn't mind it.
Okay. What about you, Jens?
Man, hell no. I don't want an outro. I don't want an outro, intro. I don't want skits. I don't want well, I'm gonna take that back. If it's interludes, like the best example I can give to properly have any kind of interlude or anything like that is Mecca and the Soul Brother. That album, they did it perfectly. I didn't have any problem with it other than I wish CL would have rapped on a lot of those joints. I wish there would have been like some kind of, maybe there would have been those interludes were actually B-sides to some of the other songs, that would have been cool. But I like the way they did it. As soon as I see intro, outro, or skit, I automatically don't listen to it. No. I don't, because I mean, if the intro, especially if you see this, how a lot of times you got the time of the track. So you got intro 30 seconds. Hell no, I'm not listening to it. Even if it's a minute intro, I'm not listening to it because of the word intro. You need to fool me and act like it's a song title or something, and then maybe. But like I said, if I see a weird ass little the length of the track, nope, immediate skip.
All right. And the wild part for me is the only time I could think of an intro that was dope, and I'm sure there are many others, but the only one I can think of is like KRS-One Attacks off of Boom Bap, where Primo got the crazy beat, he's got the scratch and remember, Criminal Minded, rockin' beat. Like, I don't mind that. Like, it was a dope, like the Lulu joint, the beat wasn't even crazy to me. So I'm like, you're not even getting me hype to, and we're gonna talk about Lulu. But
okay, I was just gonna say, are we gonna talk about Lulu? Because this is gonna be good.
You're not even getting me hype enough to even want to hear what's coming next. You know what I mean? So, but what were you gonna say, Portia?
I was just gonna ask a question. So, what did you think about, or both of you, what did you guys think about Ready to Die's intro? Big's Ready to Die intro? Because to me, that's one of the most perfect introductions to an album, and the reason being is that it is. And if we remember, it's like I can't remember how long it is, but it goes from like birth to death,
right?
All the way through audio, right? And so that gives you ties you in to the album title. It sets it up for the entire track list. Like, to me, that Ready to Die intro is one of the better ones, the most well executed intros ever, because it served its purpose to me. So I was just going to ask, what did you guys think of that one in particular?
Well, see, for me, I think I agree with you. It fit the first time I listened to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, the first time I listened to it, it fits perfect. It builds the scene. But at the end of the day, am I going to start Ready to Die off with the intro, or am I going to go straight to Give Me the Loot? You know what I mean? I'm going to go straight to Give Me the Loot. Same thing with somebody asked me about Genesis on Nas joint. That joint was cool when I heard it in 1994. I don't think I've heard the Genesis since 1994. You know what I mean? Like, when I started Omatic off, it started off with New York State of Mind. So, it was written. I don't need the whole slavery, AZ, a slave intro, all of that. I just go straight into the message. So I think certain joints stand up. But see, again, here's the flip. If I throw on Boom Bap, I'm starting with KRS-One Attacks. I'm not skipping straight to Out of Here.
So what is it about that? Like, I know you just explained, but what is it about that makes you want to go back to it? Because it starts off.
I think because the beat is dope as hell. That beat is crazy. And the scratches are crazy. Like, to me, that's an intro. And I mean, I know it's all subjective, because somebody may be saying, yo, that intro on Lulu was bananas. You know what I mean? Like, you heard the Best of My Alchemist mix, because if that's bananas, then God forbid, what is the other 48 songs on these 4 mixtapes I got? But it's like, and that makes me want to come back to that. Like, I would be like interested. Like, when you listen to It Was Written, do you start off with that whole slavery intro every time?
I do. And here's the thing, but I'm different, because again, I read a lot of books. I think everyone knows I read a lot of books. But a long time ago, when I was taking like courses and stuff, I at one point used to skip intros on books too. And then one time, one of my profs said to me, or said to the class, if an intro wasn't meant to be there, the author would not have wasted their time putting it there. And that kind of stuck with me. So ever since then, I feel like it's a disservice to the author to skip any part of the book that they've kind of compiled together. I treat the artist the same way. So for me, I just now do that as a habit. I start with intros as a habit because I think to myself, well, if the artist didn't intend for it to be there, it would have been an optional joint. Like it's just, I mean, and it is technically because we can skip over it, but the artist put it there. They intended it to be there. So I'm going to do them that service and sort of listen to it. That's just me though. And I know I'm different because I really treat like CDs, or back in the day when it was CDs, I treat music like books as well, especially hip hop albums.
No, that's the whole point. Yes. What about you with the Ready to Die? Porsche was asking.
Well, let me speak on that KRS-One attacks one. I agree with you, Kill, on that one. I kind of view that as it's a mega mix of KRS's career based on the scratches that Premier uses. And like you said, the beat is dope. Now, do I always play that? Not necessarily, because, you know, I don't really care for intros and all that kind of stuff. But I can make an exception in that case, as you did, Kill, because of the same fact you said. Now, as far as the Ready to Die intro, yeah, it made sense. It definitely, you know, brings your attention to what the whole album's about. But for me, the intro to Ready to Die was when you first heard Party and Bullshit. So there was no reason to, I don't know. I skipped the hell out of that shit. I heard it the one time, yeah, cool, whatever. It's just filler. Like if I was downloading that off of iTunes right now, that would not be one of the joints I would download. That intro would be gone. Any skit gone. The skit with him having sex with the chick.
Yes.
Gone.
And I agree with you.
That's not even because it's sex. It's just because it is absolutely
unnecessary.
No need.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with me is everyone knows people assume that I give Ready to Die 5 mics because Big's my favorite and that's one of my favorite albums. I actually don't. And it's solely because of that friggin' skit. Like I absolutely think it's the most unnecessary thing to ever appear on an album ever. So I agree with you on that.
I'll tell you what kind of scarred me for skits. Daylight is Dead? With the game show? One of the albums had the game show. I don't know if it was the first joint or the second joint. But like once I heard that, if I listen to that album, man, I'm not listening to no skits and all like that. They gotta sneak them in on the end of a song. Like just as the song's getting ready to fade, you better make your little joke or whatever it is, and then okay, I done heard it. But to go out of my way, hell no.
Eddie, what's good brother?
Eddie looking like on ESPN.
Got Kenneth over here, Donzilla, what's going on? Swiss the Best says intros are meant for you to snap and set the mood for the album. And the thing is, good brother, I can get that. I'm just old. I'm like 46 this Friday, old. Dad.
Hey, Kill, you know what the mood it sets? It sets the mood of being pissed off. That's what it says.
That's what it says for me.
Nuts.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Eddie? And the thing, and the thing with me was being able to, when I was a kid, and my mom was like, "Let me put the vinyl on the record." I want to put the vinyl on the record, and she used to tell me I'd get so excited when the music would come on, when a song would come on, when somebody would start singing. So, like I said earlier on the timeline, I love 3 Feet High and Rising. I love it, but I also hate it because now we had intros, now we had skits, now I got to put the needle on the record and hear Prodigy tell me how he's gonna shoot me, knuckle me down, beat me up, rob me, smack me, take my girl before I even get to the song. Like, and to me, that's where that's my biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? So. Eddie, intros. I'm against intros. I hate them. Unless I'm pressing play and you're rapping on the intro, I think they're a waste of time. Oh, you know what I have, Porsche? That's a great thing you said about your professor. I think the thing is, for me, as a listener, I just feel like, I guess I don't trust the average hip hop MC to be able to do a dope intro. So I think maybe that's what it is. And I'm not talking about authors now, because Now all you gotta do is pay $50 and get your book up on Amazon, and everybody's an author. Like I'm talking old school, like you had to like get a record deal and get a book deal author. Like it may be a dedication to the kid. It may be, you know, somebody else doing the prelude or what. I don't trust enough hip hop people because it just turns into skits. Like I said with Lulu, I'm like, bro, if I wanted to hear Paid in Full, I would watch Paid in fucking Full. Like I want to hear you rap, Conway. I've been waiting for a Conway Alchemist album, and we're gonna get on that. But yeah, Eddie, how do you feel about intros and outros and all that good stuff?
Eddie's muted.
Yeah, you're muted, bro. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, as far as intros, I don't mind them as much as long as you keep it short and don't let it be attached to a song. Because, you know, if I want to skip it, let me skip it without having to fast forward to the part where the song starts. You know what I mean? And that, what was it? The RJ Payne? Or was it like a 6-minute intro with people just talking about how dope his album was going to be? I mean, by the time I got done with that, I didn't even want to hear the album. I'm like, all right, I'll take their word for it, man, but I'm done. I had to, honestly,
is this
man,
the RJ point?
Like 2 days later.
Sorry, is this the Cocaine Talk 6? This one that just got...
I mean, all of his had, all of his outside that last Leatherface have like...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's just it for me. But since we on it, Lulu, how are y'all feeling about Lulu? I'll go last because I'm probably the most disappointed out of the bunch.
You're disappointed?
Disappointed.
I
already know I'm kicked out the Griselda crew and all that stuff. I'm so disappointed.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'll start. I actually, you know, I'm pretty hard on Alchemist. I'll admit that. I'm pretty hard on Alchemist, but let me tell you, Alchemist always delivers one way or another. And I absolutely loved his, I mean, I haven't spun the album long enough or enough times to be able to properly rate it because I'm listening to it once for the lyrics, then I'm listening to it the second time for the production, then I'm listening to it again for the overall experience, and then I have to let it breathe. So I have a process when I listen to albums, but so far, for me, I absolutely was floored by the production on The Contract. And that's the one where I've tweeted about it. It sounds like there's an entire Philharmonic orchestra in there. Like it's just so captivating. And to the point where Conway's rapping is like the perfect backdrop for it, or I guess it's a perfect backdrop for Conway's rapping. And for me, I think with something as majestic as this instrumental is on The Contract, Conway's rapping is so great. And I also was looking forward to this joint with Cormega. He delivered. There's quotables in there. I liked it, so I'm not that disappointed in it, honestly. I mean, I don't think it's a classic. I've had people say it's like a 9 out of 10. I've had people tweet me this was a classic out the gate. I'm not in that camp at all, but I was not disappointed. So,
yeah, and I think the thing from yes, what do you think about Lulu?
I mean, I'm not disappointed, but not like overly joyed either. I thought it had some cool tracks on it. The intro it pissed me off, but you know what more can you say about it? I like the joint with Cormega. I like the joint Calvin. Although the joint Calvin, I don't know why he started experimenting with that flow. There's like something. I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but I don't think he should have done that. I don't know. You know, that's just my opinion on it. But I didn't care for the way he went about his rapping.
All right. What about you, Eddie?
To be honest, I was trying. I know it's a short project. I was trying to get through it. I think I got like maybe 5 tracks in, and I didn't get to finish it all because I had like crazy meetings for work and all that, and you know I got a 5-year-old. But so far, from what I heard, I will say this: the one song that stood out to me the most was a joint with Schoolboy Q, and I think I heard that one like couple days before the album dropped. So far, that's it. I mean, I see Conway trying to play around with his flow a little bit. That's cool. You know, like Porsche though, it takes me a couple listens to really kind of settle in and see how I truly feel about the album. I'm listening to the production. I'm listening to the lyrics. I think with this one, I try to listen to Conway's lyrics a little bit more on this first listen than I usually do on first listen, because I know Conway is that type of lyricist where he got them bars that make you think. So I try to do that. I mean, it's dope. I just can't call it just yet. Let me get a couple more listens. But is it his best? I don't think so. But it's better than the last joint he dropped, the Look What I Became. I'll tell you that much.
Y'all know why I'm laughing, right? Because this goes back to sex. This is like
it's not that bad.
Yeah, how was I? Not that bad. Was I better than last time? Oh yeah, you did much better than last time, but you still ain't hitting it right. Like this is still not an accomplishment. Like it for me, it hurts the hardest just for the simple fact. Y'all know I love Alchemist. Alchemist is to me the dopest producer of the past 20, the past not just decade, but I think he's been the most consistent for the past 20 years. I just really feel like this dude is now just living off his name. Like, I honestly feel like, you know what I feel like? And I'm not saying y'all, but I'm saying people who are like, it's a 5 mic classic and blah, 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 and all that. I feel like it's like that time I told y'all I brought my man over here and I told him these were Ninth Wonders beats, but they were beats. That's where I feel like Alchemist is. If this says produced by Alchemist, people are already gonna say it's 5 mics. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I gave Eddie when we did the show last week. I put the asterisks on the Conway and Benny album that I want, but I want the Rubber Bands and Weight Alchemist. I didn't get that hit. I didn't get anything even remotely close to Rubber Bands and Weight or Hove 97 Hove. I didn't even get. I took the money to the Plug's house on this album. Like, I don't know why he's not really, and even when he's using drums, his drums don't hit. To me, you can put on anything on Lulu next to Rubber Bands and Weight, and that shit is gonna deflate anything on Lulu every single time. So I don't know if the rappers, I don't know if Conway and them are just like, hey, it's Alchemist, just put it through or whatever it is. But I'm telling y'all, I find it hard to believe that if I did these same beats and Conway was just my man from down the block with the same voice, same rhyme, same everything, that niggas is like it's 5 mics. Niggas is saying this is 5 mics because it's Conway and because it's Alchemist. And here's the wild part.
Okay.
I wasn't even gonna listen to this album. It's a nigga named Stove Cook God. Okay? Have you heard of him?
The dude with Rock Marciano.
Stove God, I didn't say his name wrong. It's Stove God Cooks. Okay? Yeah. This album to me runs laps around Lulu. Like it ain't even fair that the first track on here, Rolls Royce Brake Lights, puts every beat on Lulu to shame. And that's just one beat. We ain't even gotten to the other 12. So, and here's the other thing about intros that are so bad. You know, when I listened to this album, I skipped straight to the second song because I knew the first song was going to be a goddamn intro. So that's how it's fucked up in my mind that I already skipped to your second song because I know your first song is going to be an intro. I didn't even know that the first song was a real song until it played again. And the first song is bananas. This is how you set off an album. Everybody watching at home, download Stove God Cooks to learn how to set off your album. That's how you get a nigga excited. What you gonna say, Porsche?
I was gonna say, how did you feel about the Boldy James album, The Price of Tea in China? Because that was Alchemist.
Yeah,
with
I
Goldie.
think
And the reason I'm asking this particular comparison is because I'm wondering if Alchemist has a particular tempo of beats for the type of rapper. Because for me, Boldy James is a boring rapper. Like I just cannot get excited about this guy. I feel like he doesn't feel his music. I don't feel his music. I listen to it and I'm like, okay, like we're both bored. I feel like he's bored, I'm bored, and then Alchemist is the only one
like,
carrying.
why are we on this date together? Why are we?
Yeah, like why are we on this date together? Alchemist, the third wheel, is carrying this date. Like that's what I feel like. So for me, maybe like Conway's not like I like Conway more than Boldy, but he is a very low energy, very kind of cool, laid back, calm rapper. So I'm wondering if there's like a thing that Alchemist does to keep the beats sort of in that range for these, because Benny and Conway are very different rappers. One is extremely high energy. He'll get you hype. He'll get you going. And Conway just doesn't really do that. He's more of like a mellow, laid back, chill, sort of listen to what he's saying. He's telling you a story. You're going to listen to it and then you're going to move on. Benny is sort of like get you going. So if you like the Alchemist production on 10 O'Clock 3, so to speak, better, then is maybe that a reason? Or I'm just wondering what it is.
I mean, I'm gonna get to some of these people over here. Don Zilla says, can it be that you're used to delivering the sound of Conway a bit more? So that's why Main Man says the Cooks album is dope. And then he said, am I disappointed in the production or just Conway's bars? To be honest, I really gotta give Lulu another spin. You know what I mean? Like I probably listened to it twice. But here's the crazy thing. This Cooks guy, I'm listening to Lulu last night, and I'm like, well, when is this shit is over so I can get back to Cooks? See, that's the way I want to be with an album. And y'all know I've been waiting for Lulu. Remember, I had the challenge last week. I was like, all we gonna listen to all week is Lulu. Challenge off. Challenge off. That challenge off. I ain't listening to Lulu all week. I ain't commit suicide. No. All I'm doing while I'm listening to Lulu is like, and when is this over so I can get back to Cooks? You know what I mean? Cooks, and the worst part is this happens when two albums come out around the same time. The worst thing, for me at least, is this Lulu dropping after Cooks. Cooks has so many quotables, literally. And y'all know I love a quotable. Every song on there's a quotable. Like, and I'm like, yo, I know that nigga didn't say. Me and T going to KFC last night. She even in the car like, ooh, this nigga nasty. And she ain't even into hip hop like that. So the fact, like, she would wind it back, like, yo, did that nigga just say get hit up like Missy with the hee high? Like, ooh, that was nasty. How is Cook I'm not disrespecting the boy, calling him a nobody. I just haven't heard of him like that. So I'm saying, but this is Conway. I just personally feel like, and y'all know me, I don't do the Griselda dick riding thing. Like, I call it the way it is. Niggas know I love Griselda, but if they drop a dud, I'm gonna call it dud. Mm-hmm. I just feel like Conway kind of feels like, yo, I'm the illest out, fuck y'all, whatever. And I feel like his pen is reflecting that. Like, I don't feel like that pen is reflecting that hunger when I heard on Rejects 2. When I hear Rejects 2 and Go, to me, it's not the same Conway I'm hearing on this. It is the Conway I heard on What Machine Gun Do. And I do know the behind the scenes of that they were saying, yo, this is one of the few times in the past couple of years we all been in the studio together. You know, because Benny been doing his BSF stuff. You know, Benny will go on tour or what. So they was like, yo, this was dope just to be back around each other again. And maybe that's what got that energy back out.
The competition.
But, yeah, maybe that competition. But I personally haven't loved the Conway project since probably Food 2. You know what I mean? And we're talking, Food 3, Food 4, Look What I've Become. And now this, and definitely not with no Alchemist. Niggas was like, yo, what you expecting from this? I'm like 5 mics. I'm expecting Alchemist and Conway. I'm expecting 5 mics. That to me, if you say like, what are you expecting from Pete Rock and CL Reunion? 5 mics.
Right,
like,
right. That's fair. That's fair.
Nothing less from Pete Rock and CL Smooth back together again.
Yep,
Alchemist,
I would agree with you.
I expect nothing much. And this ain't, I may never even play this again on some real shit, y'all, especially with Cooks out. Because all I'm listening to is Cooks. But yeah, so my brother Kill, you bugging. Hey, I've been called worse, good brother. I'm just saying for me, again, nobody will admit this because I don't think a lot of people know. And this is one of the things that I've learned from marriage counseling. This is no offense to any women watching. Portia, this is no offense to women, period.
No offense taken.
I don't think, from doing marriage counseling, I don't think a lot of women actually think about how they're going to view somebody. And what I mean, like, I'll give you an example. One of my homegirls married a dude who was a waiter, right?
Who was a what?
He was a waiter at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
They were dating. He was a waiter. Everything was fine. They got married, and she was like, "Nigga, when you gonna stop being a waiter?" And he's like, "Quit being a waiter," which is why we. And it's like, no, you was my boy. You was cool being a boyfriend, a waiter as my boyfriend. Now you my husband, and you got to provide for me now. So what's up? And he was just looking like, well, I kind of married you because I thought you was cool with me being a waiter. Like, I want a wait table so I could be a rapper and live out my dream. So I thought we was cool with that. And again, the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of men will be like, oh, it's the woman's fault. I don't blame women. Women were raised that you are to have someone take care of you, or a lot of women were raised that way to think like that. So a lot of it is just what we think, and it's hard to break out of that mode of what we think. So even when I'm doing like couples who are just like engaged or thinking about getting engaged, women are like, oh my God, Kill, I never thought about that before. Like, you're absolutely right. I swear, y'all, a lot of this hip hop shit is names. I'm telling y'all, it's names. I swear on my life, if Boldy James is Mousse from Virginia and I'm doing the beats, this Boldy James album ain't getting as much love as it's getting in these streets right now. It's just not. Because I'm with Porsche. I like Boldy, but
I don't like Boldy. So you're ahead of me. I cannot
but what I mean by that is that Boldy, I just think people are so caught up with name. And it's been like this. Think about this. Mostly all the dopest rappers we talk about now from upstate New York. Really, y'all. Like, this nigga Cooks is from Syracuse. When the fuck has a rapper from Syracuse ever? But you know what Griselda has done? As long as you are from upstate New York, I don't care what you sound like. I don't care what you do. If you're from upstate New York and Alchemist or somebody's doing your beats, you 5 mics. There are people out there, and I'm just saying, y'all, and I'm not saying that Boldy ain't dope. People in the comments like, yo, you bug and kill, Boldy's the illest. Boldy's the illest? Really? Okay. Well, go listen to Cooks, and Boldy is the illest. But I just really feel like it's just names. I feel like we are so caught up in names nowadays that it's really bad, y'all. And we gotta get back, y'all. We gotta get back to actually listening. Who cares if Alchemist did it? Guess what? If Alchemist did it or if Eddie did it, it should still be judged the same way. It should still be, I like the beats, I don't like the beats. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, even with Rock Marcy doing these joints, when I saw it, I was like, I know Rock Marcy got some beats, but I wasn't like, oh, yo, like really anticipating. Yo, Rock Marcy killed this album production. And to me,
don't you think that goes a little bit into the name recognition too, though? Like somebody who never, you just finished saying you never really heard of the cat Cooks, right? But then you look down that track list and you see Rock Marcy is associated. That's gonna put your antenna up, correct?
Well, I think for most people, it didn't for me. To be honest with you, here's the thing that made, when I saw the album cover, I was like, that shit look whack. I ain't listening to that. And I thought of you, Yitz, because remember, we was talking about them ads in the source. Like, that is still me to this day. If your album cover look whack, I'm like, I'm not listening to that. And my man got at me in the DMs and was like, yo, trust me, this Reasonable Drought joint is crazy. You know what I mean? So even for me seeing produced by Rock Marciano, that didn't even get my antennas up because the album cover was whack. I honestly wasn't even going to listen to the album, but just so many people told me about it. I was like, all right, and I love it. But I do think name recognition goes a long way nowadays. And I'm just asking people like, yo, just take it. I mean, if you like Boldy, cool, that's great. But I'm just saying, for me, with the Alchemist that I know, like, again, Rubber Bands and Wade, anything on Lulu, we two different things. Porsche, you're 100% right. It may be because, but here's the wild part on GOAT. My GOAT is downstairs. The stuff that he was giving Conway on GOAT was crazy. Like that, so again, and I'm now at the point where I don't even want Alchemist and Griselda anymore. I'm good with Derringer. I felt like Derringer did a better job on What Machine Gun do than whoever's been producing for Conway the last 3-4 hours. And that's my take on it. Have y'all heard the Cooks yet?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it one time.
Right.
I haven't. But the funny thing is, I just pulled it up on Google Music. Talking about name recognition, that album is listed under Rock Marciano.
Wow.
Word, see?
Wow.
And I think that's done purposely.
Yeah.
Because the cat's not really heavily known outside of Syracuse. So you attach Rock Marcy to it, and people, like I said, you just naturally, it's gonna throw your antenna up. I think that don't mean that you can't say if Rock Marcy has some whack beats on it. You know what I mean? That's what I think the name recognition should only go so far, because okay, yeah, all right, I see your name on it, I know your track record, but if you come with lackluster product, then it's got to be called what it is. You know what I mean? You can't like you trying to say, you can't say just because it's Alchemist that it's gonna be 5 Mike right off the bat until you hear it, and then some people just gonna say it anyway. So right. I don't know what to do about that. That's not how I ever listen to music. So
I agree with you. It's 100% marketing, because I mean, if Rock Marciano does your album, then you're hoping everybody who rocks with Rock Marciano will then in turn, do it. So, I mean, you got to do whatever you could do to get the listens, but I think at the end of the day, the product has to be dope.
No doubt.
No doubt. You can get all the listens in the world, but for the project to be dope, or how people eat off of streams, is how many times people stream it. You know what I mean? So the project has to be dope. So, Porsche, with intros, are you good with skits and everything? So whenever you listen to an album again, you listen to the whole entire album, skits and everything?
Yes and no. So to answer that question, no. I do listen to intros because it sets off the album. Skits, very, very, very few. Capital Punishment is should be one of, and it is, I know by a lot of people's standards, actually, I'm probably in the very small minority that thinks Capital Punishment isn't as dope because it's so exhaustive. I counted, you could get rid of easily 13 tracks off of Capital Punishment. 11 of those are skits, and you would not hurt that project at all. So I don't know why Pun has a 26 track album, 1 disc, and all of it is like 1.5 minute, 2 minute skits. Like, so no, I don't listen to skits all the time. Very few. I think there are very, very few albums that have executed skits correctly. I skip over Ready to Die skits. So I'm not a fan of skits whatsoever unless it is executed well, and very few rappers can do it. Very few.
What about you, Eddie? Do you listen? We were talking, I think before you jumped on, I was just saying how I haven't heard the Genesis off of Illmatic probably since 94. When I put in Illmatic, I'm starting straight off with New York State of Mind. Like, and it may work good the first time I hear it, but I just don't ever need to hear it again.
And I do listen to intros and outros, just no skits in between. That's it. Yeah.
Right. So what about you, Ed?
I mean, I'll do an intro. First listen on albums, I'll listen to the skits, to kind of see, because certain albums, they're well done. They tie into the story or whatnot. Mm-hmm. As long as they're not too long. As long as they're tied in and not crazy. I mean, but other than that, if I ain't feeling them, I'll skip them. The last album that I really thought the skits were well done was that Little Brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even for me, I remember tweeting that it was a little too much skits, but they were well executed.
Right.
All right, now my man Swizz over here said, "Waiting on King to a God." Is that the new West Side joint?
I think it might be. I think I heard something like that. I'm not totally sure.
Now, here's the thing about this. Now, somebody said this the other day, and y'all tell me. I don't know if y'all all on the Griselda crew or whatever. What do y'all think about West Side's gun discography? Like, do you think, because it was like basically who has a bad discography, Conway or Benny? And then somebody was like, really, West Side got the best one. Oh, new Conway. Thanks, Sean. Fuck, how many new albums he gonna come out with? So the King to a God is the new Conway, but he just Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. So it's Conway, so it's not West Side. But I saw this thing on IG with Swizz, and I guess Swizz is working with West Side Gun, and had a banger on tap. None of that Casio keyboard stuff. It's like Swiss actually sounded like Derringer almost. You know what I mean? Which to me is kind of whack, because if I'm working with Swiss, you kind of should give me some Swiss shit. Don't give me the producer I already got shit. But the skits on the score were hilarious to me. And again, y'all, I'm not saying skits are whack. I'm just saying there's no replay value for me, at least. You know what I mean? Like with skits.
I say it too. No replay. No.
Right.
No. Hell no.
And we all know Lord AAA is back in the building. So
here we go. Debate.
So Kill, don't you think name recognition works both ways? You're automatically trashing Mega based off of his rep to you, right? I don't like fucking tomatoes. I am not trashing Mega. I do not like. We are going to stop talking about Cormega. He is a tomato to me, okay? I don't like tomatoes on a turkey sub, on a Whopper, on a chicken cheese steak hoagie. I don't like tomatoes. I'm not trashing tomatoes because I don't like tomatoes. Seriously, y'all. My wife hates grilled onions. So if I know I'm eating out with her, I don't get grilled onions because she doesn't like the smell. I'm not telling my wife, why you trashing grilled onions? The fuck did grilled onions do to you? They didn't do anything to my wife. She just doesn't like grilled onions.
She hating on them onions.
I'm not stopping asking about Mega. Y'all got to, I just don't like them. That's it. I just don't like tomatoes. My wife don't like grilled onions. Porsche may not like mayo.
I hate mayo. I can't stand mayo. I got blocked on Twitter for saying I don't like mayo and ketchup. So I know people.
Nobody is trashing. Anytime we do this with music, I take it right back to food. If I say I'm a vegetarian, is somebody gonna be like, Kill, why you trashing meat? What the fuck did Cal ever do to you? No. You just about, oh, Kill don't eat meat. Okay, cool. And keep it.
I don't like ketchup with my fries.
Right, like I keep it moving.
Me too, Ed. I do that too. No ketchup.
We gotta stop with this Mega stuff, y'all. I just don't. He doesn't speak to me. I didn't say it was trash. I didn't say it was whack. He's a fucking tomato, y'all.
All right, well, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this right quick, Kill.
Yes, sir.
If somebody tells you that they really like Cormega, you need to zoom in on your face whenever somebody says that, because although you may not trash him, you don't give the best look.
But here's the problem. Think of a food that, like, I really hate tomatoes. Like, literally, right. If you make me eat a tomato, I may throw up. Like, literally.
All right.
I hate tomatoes. Like, it's literally that bad. So if you say a tomato to me, my face is I'm gonna make a face. Like, because it makes me throw up. Now, I'm not saying Mega's gonna make me throw up. I'm just saying that Mega is a tomato. And no matter what you put the tomato on, because somebody gonna be like, "What? Did you hear Mega over Premier?" That's like asking me, "Did you put a tomato on a chicken cheese steak?" I have. I don't like it. Then somebody would hear Mega over Alchemist. It's putting a tomato on turkey sub. I don't like. Have y'all ever been to a barbecue and somebody just keeps fucking with you? No, it doesn't happen. If Porsche came to my crib and I said, "Porsche, you want mustard?" She says no. I'm like, okay, and I'm never in my life going to ask her again.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's true.
Or that hot dog. Now, of course, if I go to the grill 8 times and I ask you every single time, do you want mustard? After you already told me, Kill, I don't like mustard. In fact, it makes me throw up. It makes me vomit. When you say mustard. After the 9th time, you'd be like, "Yo, is this motherfucker fucking with me or
what?" She's
gonna
block you. She'll block you if you say
that.
Actually, just for the record, I love mustard. I can eat it by like the bottle, but it's mayo and ketchup that kill me. I cannot stand these condiments. They're disgusting.
And my man, Main Man 365. So Kill, you don't like Mega with Mob Deep. AKA, have you tried a tomato on a Five Guys burger? Not Burger King. I know. If you try a Five Guys burger, it doesn't matter who Mega is on, y'all. This is just food. Think of a food. Everybody, right now, think of a food you don't like. And
it depends on where. It depends on where and how that tomato is grown. No, Kill. You got to take that into consideration.
Right. The tomato could have been grown with no pesticides. It could have been grown fresh from
organic. You get your organic tomato, you might change.
It could have been from the Garden of Eden. I do not like Mega, y'all. It's okay. It is okay.
Absolutely. It's definitely okay. Yeah, it is.
Guess what? I got a rack of my friends who be like, yo, how do you like West Side Gun? He sound like a 14-year-old girl. He's screaming.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, yo, I like him. Sorry you don't. And that's it. I don't go back and send them 8 emails like, yo, listen to these 20 West Side Gun. If you don't like them, you don't like them. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I mean, unless y'all are getting money from Mega, like on some old, like for every fan you turn into a Mega fan, like you get $100. Keep on with it. Well, have you heard Mega?
Well, look, hold on. Let me bring this back up. I kind of brought it up in the chat last time y'all was on. Now you was on a whole radio show.
You're right.
And you blasted your man Donnell.
I did. I was actually trying to get him on because I knew you was gonna be on. But
I wish he would. I love this.
I'm gonna see if we can get on right now.
Hey, I wish I could somehow make a GIF out of him saying, "You do hate you do hate Ninth Wonder Kill." You even said it. Oh man, that's the funniest thing.
I never said I hate Ninth Wonder. That
was funny,
the whole
boy.
dynamic was about Fife and Tip. I do not hate Ninth Wonder, but we're not going down that. We cannot go down that road. That road is a never-ending purgatory road to purgatory right there. So
tell him Vegas. Tell him Vegas.
Mega, yeah. Speak your cloud. Every time I think of Mega, I'm gonna think of tomatoes. Yes, please do, because that's what Mega is to me. It doesn't matter who he's with, and it's okay. I don't hate Mega. There's no need to tag Mega and be no Twitter.
Right. Like, yeah, I don't like when people do that.
There's no need
to do that
unless you are going to tag fucking what's the mail company? Hellman. Unless you're at Hellman's like, yo, this nigga Kill don't like you. There's no need to tag Cormega and be like, Kill don't like you. I just don't, and that's cool. You know, everybody doesn't like my beats. That's cool. I could really care less if y'all. I mean, if you like them, that's great. If you don't, I'm not gonna. You know, have you heard Moose over my beats? Wait, have you heard Jal? But okay, you like stuff like LA rappers. Have you heard Burn over my beats? Like, if you don't like my beats, it's cool. You don't like them. I mean, they don't speak to everybody. So while we're talking about beats, because Jens asked me, Kill, what we talking about today? I said just shit I started on Twitter. Dr. Dre. What do y'all think about Dr. Dre as a producer? Porsche, what do you think? You're rolling your eyes, so this isn't
I'm rolling my eyes because I think that Dr. Dre in 2020 is more revered than he was when he should have been. I don't. Here's the thing: Dre doesn't make my top 5. I think I do understand what he did for production, especially for the West Coast. I do understand what he did for NWA. I understand Doggy Style, Chronic. Like, believe me, I know these albums are classics. They're cornerstones of hip hop. I get it, but I just don't understand where I don't understand why Dr. Dre is so just so swallowed, I want to say, in 2020. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just find that the last few, I want to say days, but maybe a couple weeks now, all I see on Twitter is people talking about Dre and arguing with people about Dr. Dre. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, yeah, I just don't get it.
Eddie, what do you think about
Dre? I feel like, my problem with him, like after the Chronic or whenever that point in time when you didn't know what he produced and what he didn't. Like, if it said Dr. Dre, it could mean that Dr. Dre did it. It could mean that anyone else in his camp did it. It could mean that High Tech did it, or, throw any producer that was in his camp out on the air. So that's kind of my issue with it. And to Portia's point, at least for me, at the time when the Chronic dropped, obviously, monumental West Coast album. But I do think that as far as like the East Coast sound and the sound of hip hop, it was more raw and gritty. I feel like Dr. Dre kind of cleaned it up. His claim to fame is his clarity, his the way he EQ'd, his beats to sound clear and crisp. But not everyone necessarily liked that at the time. You know, people still kind of like the raw grittiness. So I think that's kind of where it is. And now that, you know, that sound that Dr. Dre pioneered had been emulated by others and became more popular, maybe that's why so many people are you know, praising Dr. Dre for what he did.
All right, what about you, Jens?
I agree with what Ed's saying in the sense that early on, Dr. Dre, you know, he did what he did up until the Chronic, and then all this stuff started coming out as far as other people may have done this or that. I kind of attribute that more to he's actually producing the album. So it's his vision, it's his ear. Now, whether or not people are credited or not, that's not for me to say. That's they gotta sort that out. But I think later on, Dre and he became more of the fine tuner, the visionary of what the sound's supposed to be. So I mean, I don't have any problem with either way. I think Dre is one of the best to ever have done it. And I mean, the resume speaks for itself. So
Even if Dre didn't actually do it?
but like I said, see that
like I get that
me,
it's
that
for
goes
them to sort
more
out, but
that's going more under music production. Like I say, he's taking the finished product and he's putting the Dre flair on it. He's making sure the album is mixed correctly. He's making so whether he made the beat or not, all right, big deal. Like I said, that's for them to sort out. I mean, I've heard the stories, but has it hurt him? Hell no, it hadn't hurt him.
So if someone if I get Homer's Iliad, okay, classic book, everyone knows about it. I get Homer's Iliad, it's given to me, and all I write is the end, and then I pass this off as mine. People are going to be like, "Oh, Portia's this amazing writer," and like that's what the flair that like on some. How can you guarantee to me that Dre didn't just add like just this little thing or that little touch that maybe wouldn't have been any different like without it, you know?
Again, I can't
playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, but I wasn't there, so I can't just put my imagination into what if. We know what the finished product is. We know the man's track record up until you started hearing people beefing, and that could be over anything. Like a beef over something that you hear about 9 times out of 10, that beef goes back to some other shit.
Right.
So I mean, it might have came out, oh yeah, you know, I really done the beat, but just like I've seen Kill say time and again, where are those people's music that is complementary to what the man accomplished on these albums to that point? Nobody came out with something that's of any of that magnitude to say to really put a foothold on. I did that shit and Dre didn't credit me.
Right.
I haven't heard it.
I mean, Scott Storch had a pretty big name and high tech.
Hold on for a second. Let me jump in real quick before we go to Scott Storch, because I think when we look at Dre, there are certain aspects of Dre. Like when you talk about Dre, and I'm always defining people as a hip hop producer. To me, when I did a Best of Dre mixtape, it goes from NWA, DOC, Chronic, Doggy Style, and it stops at Doggy Style. Mm-hmm. So to me, anything after Doggy Style, once we get into 2001, now we're talking Mailman and Scott Storch and where Eddie was about to go. Now, yes, what you were saying was what I've always said. Niggas will be like, oh, Daz said he really produced Doggy Style. Well, then where's Daz's Doggy Style?
Right.
It's like Jay said, you know, oh, niggas said they made a hole. Well, make another hole. Since y'all made me, well, just go make another Jay-Z, Dame. And we see Dame ain't done that. And whenever I say that about Daz, niggas will jump in and be like, oh, what about this song or that song? Nigga, I ain't talking about songs. I'm talking about if you did all. Here's the thing. If somebody said I ghost produced for them, or if I said, yo, I ghost produced for whatever, then I should be able to play you a beat right now that's just as banging as Nothing But a G Thing, or Bitches Ain't Shit, or On Death Row. I should be able to hit play on the MP right now and be like, there you go. And that's what I've never seen Daz, Warren G, all these other people who have said And just last night, somebody was like, "Oh, well, you know, Yella," because even during the NWA days, niggas was like, "Oh, well, Yella was making the beat." I ain't never heard nothing from Yella. And niggas was like, "Oh, after Easy died, Yella said he ain't want to do music no more." Well, see, NWA broke up in '91. Easy ain't died till '94. You telling me in 4 years? Now, DJ Yella is part of the biggest group in the world right now in WA. He should have had 100 rappers from Compton lined up, like, "Yo, Yella, give me a beat," and he didn't. So that's why. And then somebody was like, "Well, Kill, you can check on YouTube." And I'm like, "Hey, has anybody heard of this new thing that I'm gonna tell y'all? This is a new word for 2020. Nobody's ever heard this word before. It's called a fucking liar. It's called somebody who lies. Okay? Has anybody ever heard of a liar before? Anybody? I've had some liars in my life. So yeah, people can get on YouTube and lie. I can get on YouTube right now and tell you I made They Reminisce over you. You gonna believe me? No. So just because people on YouTube with videos saying they did it, don't mean they did it. You know, and then the other part that kills me, and again, this is no shot at nobody. This is no shot at nobody. But in 11 years of Twitter, you don't know how many times people have said, "Well, Kill, I was in the studio." Were you really, dear brother? Were you really in the studio? Like, you really were? I don't believe you, bro. I don't. You know what I mean? I just don't. Sorry. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going to say, "Oh, they had a friend," or they man's cousin from fucking baby mom's second cousin knew Dre, and Dre really didn't. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. If Daz did the beat, let me hear Daz make a Doggy Style. Then somebody was like, "Well, Dog Food was a 5 mic classic." You know what? That's your personal opinion. But I've never heard anybody mention Dog Food along with Doggy Style or The Chronic in the same stuff. So again, that's my thing. But Ed, what were you gonna say about Scott Storch? And Melvin?
I was just saying that Scott Storch had a nice run.
Yes, nice run.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
So I think, you know, there were some producers in his camp, but I think, you know, these guys that Kill mentioned, yeah, those might be, you know, like some of the other conversations we had where, what was it? Who are we talking about? Talk about folks bringing in the samples and trying to get
we were
EPMD, the Hammer, EPMD, Marley.
Everybody,
right, exactly.
Is this? Am I getting production? And again, maybe at that time it was, but like I said, outside Scott Storch, I can't think of anybody who was supposedly under Dre making the beats that they had a good career. I'm not even saying better than Dre. They just had a good career. Melman didn't have a good career. Mike Elizondo, who was one of the bass players, didn't have a great career. And people have said that, you know, well, Dre is just like a composer. And this is what I told people we got to stop doing, because people want to be like, Dre's like Quincy Jones. This is where we got to stop, y'all. We got to stop saying that people who can't play music and write music are like people who can't play music and write music.
Someone said that Dre is like Quincy Jones?
People say this all the time. People will be like,
people know what Quincy Jones has done?
They don't. People love to say.
Okay, just making sure.
People love to say Puffy is like hip hop's Quincy Jones. I've heard this for years. Even before Twitter, people would be like, "Oh, Puffy."
Oh my God, I cannot with this. I'm so sorry. Like,
but you got to remember, Porsche. Most of these people only know Quincy Jones starting from Thriller. Literally, that's where their view of Quincy Jones starts with is Thriller.
Oh my God, I can't speak on Puff right now. I can't do it. I won't do it.
I want to pull out some Quincy vinyl on how bad Quincy goes. You know that Quincy. This is the Dollar soundtrack. This is actually Shook One. You got this Quincy. I mean, Quincy has been composing music for decade after decade. I mean, the man did the Wiz soundtrack. I mean, the man is a freaking musical genius, and people will be like, "Yeah, well, Quincy don't play every instrument." I'm like, no, but Quincy writes the music, and then he gives the music sheets to people to play. You cannot compare that to a nigga picking up the phone saying, "Yo, my keyboard player, come on down." They're two totally different things, y'all. So we got to stop comparing people. Here's the thing: you can't compare me to somebody who speaks Spanish. I don't speak fucking Spanish, y'all. Send me to Mexico right now. Watch how far I go, because I'm not gonna go far because I can't speak no Spanish. Okay.
But look, let me ask you this though. In regard to Quincy Jones, of course, when you're trying to compare hip hop to stuff like that, of course, it's not real. You can't compare it like that. But the comparison I would make with producers is if you hear something that ain't right as a producer, you're gonna step in and say, no, do this. So in that sense, whether you write music or not, in that sense, you're still being the producer, correct?
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna call Flag on the play. We did a show. I'm about to get to you. We did a show on the writer's bench saying are hip hop producers musicians, and I said no, and I was outvoted. Everybody was like, "Kill, you're fucking bugging." Everybody was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that, Kill." Here's the difference: what people don't understand. My mother's a jazz musician. My mother's a music teacher. I grew up in a house of nothing but music. Now, when I asked my mom that question, she was like, you want to know why you're not a musician? Because guess what? If the motherfucking power goes out, I can still play my instrument. And that was my mother's mic drop. That was my mother's mic drop.
That's true.
If the power goes out, I pick up my saxophone, my flute, my bassoon, my piano, my drums, and I can still, even with the guitar without the amp, I can still have a jam session in here. You can't. She said, now what you are is a great, what did she say? Not composer. She called me, and I wasn't mad at the title at all. She said, you're a great programmer. You're a great programmer because you can program things into that drum machine. I can't. But she was like, you're not a musician. So we can come up with a different name for that. But you're not going to get the same title I get as a producer because you came and you said, you know what? Why don't you sing up another octave and not down? That's a good idea. You ain't the vocal coach,
or that's a good ear.
And or you have a good ear. But I tell people this with my scripts. When I send my scripts out to people, I'm like, I just want your input. If you can't give me your input without then coming back in 10 years suing me saying, oh, well, no, I wrote that movie because I told Kill to take that scene out and to do that. There are good ideas, and then there are people who do this shit. And what happens is you got a lot of people who have good ideas who want to be down so much. There was an interview with Stevie J in the Vibe magazine. It's funny. I had the quote plastered right above my ASR in my mom's house. And it said the track was done. Puffy came in and said, turn the snare up. And then I look at the production credits and it says produced by Puff. The track was done. Turning the snare up, that's a good idea. Yeah? That's a good idea. My grandmother may have told me, well, why don't you take the bass out? The speakers are shaking. Now my grandmother going to sue me? Somebody told me the other day on Twitter that Quick really did the drum production for In the Club. And I was like, damn, he did the drum production? And somebody was like, well, no, Dre did the kick and the hi-hat and Quick did the snare, did the hand clap. I said, yeah. Just getting mad about a hand clap? Like, we getting out of control, y'all. When I need to be like, hey, I'm suing you because I gave you that hi-hat. A hi-hat, y'all. Like, come on, y'all. This is where it's going too far. So, yes, I think that there could be a name for those people, but you can't tell me that I've sat here and I've gone record shopping and I found the perfect drums and I did all of this stuff to make this production. And then the same person who just said, turn that snare up, we both get the same name. Like what Portia said with an author. Somebody who wrote a 30, chapter book is an author. Now, the person who just comes in and wrote the prelude or whatever, they're the author. No, you are not an author too. Like,
I mean, you can use any analogy. It's like a chef creating a menu, and then someone says put less salt, and then suddenly they're the creator and chef of this entire. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
I mean, that's a little
okay.
Space,
yeah,
but
I got you.
I mean, the people are trying to.
Yes, hold that for one second. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm getting this live stuff.
All right.
What if a producer or beat maker can't play an instrument and read sheet music? Then I think they're a musician. And again, y'all, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. Like I said, I got outvoted. Everybody was mad at me. Like, yo, how could you be a producer? My mother is a jazz musician. So to me, a musician has to weigh in on this. Like an author would have to weigh in and say, nope, flag on the play. You are not an author just because you wrote. So like Lord AAA is like, bro, I'm sorry to disagree. What about DJs turning record players into instruments? What we have done with hip hop is amazing. A record player is not an instrument. Just my opinion. It is a turntable. We have made it do amazing things, but an SP1200 is not an instrument. And again, these are just my opinions. Instruments are like I just said. Here's how I'm gonna define instrument. Turn off your goddamn power and see if it works. In the store. There you go. Are you still spinning records with your power off? Then it ain't an instrument. That is my definition of an instrument. If your definition of an instrument is different, I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. I really don't. That's your definition of an instrument. Mine is, if the power goes off, if you don't fucking play Smecco next month, can you still practice your instrument? And if the answer is no, then it is not an instrument. And that is not to downplay anything that we have done with hip hop. We, as Black, white, Latinos of any culture, I'm never one of those people that hip hop is just Black. Anybody who has done anything with hip hop has done something amazing. We have taken things that people meant to do one thing and we have made them do something else. Okay, but just if I learn how to make my stove make beats, does that make my stove an instrument? No, it does not. It is still a stove. An SP1200 is a drum machine. We just found ways to make it do things that it wasn't supposed to do, but still as a drum machine. What is a turntable? It is still a turntable. We can do some amazing things on them turntables, but at the end of the day, it is still a turntable. So that's just me. I'm coming. Kenneth said I'm coming for the collection plate tonight. No, I'm really just not. This is really the only time that I could really just talk, about this. This is why I love these Corona shows, because this is totally not how I would ever do a 5B show for real. So, yeah. So, anything else about Dr. Dre? I'm sorry. Yes, I asked you to put a pin in it just so I could get it over there. What were you saying?
Well, I mean, what I was saying was, like Quincy Jones, who knows all of the instruments, he writes the music, yes, but he's gonna still tell that session musician how to play the music. He's still gonna have the butt in every once in a while and say, no, let's retake that. So I think sometimes the bigger the producer gets, although it's hip hop, that becomes the way to do it because of everything outside of hip hop that they have going on. So you may have had sessions where Dre wasn't able to actually be in the studio at a time, but he's still calling the shots, producing the album. He may not have made the beat per se, but he produced the album in that this is what I want it to sound like. That's what I'm talking about.
I see what you're saying. And
I think that's why people give that accolade to Puff, because although Puff didn't really do anything as far as making those beats, he had his hitmen. He still, before it was all said and done, he still had that ability, gift of an ear to say, not this one, this one. So, right. I mean, it's not, it's not hip hop traditionally.
But we have to give it another title then. So maybe you're the executive producer. Like I said, again, this is what I'm always saying. I'm not discrediting those people. I'm not taking anything away from them.
No doubt.
You can't get my title. So I know people who have gone to school for a long time to get a PhD. They don't want nobody who got no bachelor's degree talking about they got a PhD. They don't want that. You know what I mean? I'm not even a title person. I'm not one of those people who in my emails, I'm like, Dr. Kilpatrick, PhD. But when you've done amount of work to get something, you don't want anybody else who hasn't done that same amount of work to be able to get that same amount of credit. You know what I mean? It's almost like I'm not in a frat, don't know a lot about them. I just know you got grad chapter and you got chapter when you're in school. And normally with grad chapter, you don't go through as much of the pledging as you do in undergrad. So a lot of times the undergrad people don't look at the grad chapter like they really did as much. So we both wearing the same letters, but it's like, you kind of cheated. You know what I mean? Like, so again, I don't want to discredit those people, and they deserve a title because you're absolutely right. A great example of that I'll give you on this, because my man asked me about this on Jay-Z's American Gangster, the song called American Dreamin', right? There's it, and of course it says produced by Puffy and then produced by Sean C and LV. And my man was asking me to break this down for him. And if you listen to like the first couple of bars of it, that's probably what Sean C and LV gave you. They gave you the drums off the MP and they gave you the sample. But when you listen to that whole song build out and now you got the strings in it and you got the live drummers doing rolls and everything, that 9 times out of 10 was Puffy coming in, who then paid somebody to orchestrate all of that. So again, I'm not taking anything away because Puffy is going to make the song bigger than what it sounded like coming out of your MPC. You know what I mean? But again, it's not Puff doing that. See, Quincy's going to do it by writing the music and telling people what to play. Puff is going to hire somebody to do it and tell them what to play. So it's just
It's
impossible.
something that was already done before that he's just just to make it sound different.
So again,
I just have to be really clear on that because nothing original comes out of Puffy. Nothing. He's a fighter.
Deserve credit for being able to see the bigger picture.
Yes, sure, fine. Yes.
To make it a bigger picture. But if we want, you know what, we could call him the bigger picture man. How about that? That's their name.
Bigger picture man.
They're the bigger picture man. You know, that those could be the people. You know, Shauna says hip hop invented nothing but reinvented everything. That's dope. Lord Triple A was saying not a complete argument. Here's the thing, y'all, and because I lost my first Twitter account, I'm getting new people. Here's the thing, y'all. I don't debate hip hop. I discuss hip hop. Anything that we do on Apartment 5B is really just discussions. Because a debate to me would mean I'm trying to change your mind. I'm 45 years old. I have no urge to change none of y'all motherfuckers' minds. None at all. I don't have an ounce of it. So when people are like, well, what about Mega? What about Mega? See, you're trying to change my mind. It's a debate. You want me to see or believe that Mega is dope, or you want me to love Mega as much as you do. It's not going to happen. So when you say the art, that's not a complete argument. I mean, bro, again, it's just my definition. You know what I mean? If you believe a turntable is an instrument, fucking high five, nigga. Good. Like, it's an instrument. Great. If you think Mega's the best rapper ever, thumbs up, bro. That's all I can do. You know? So I'm never here to debate music. It's just a discussion. That's it. The discussion would be, well, why do you like Megan? You tell me why. You say, why don't you like Megan? I tell you why. And then we do this thing that is new to 2020. It's called move the fuck on. That's what I know. I'm giving y'all a lot of new words in 2020, y'all. A lot of new words have been invented. One is a liar. There are liars out here. People who will say they really didn't. You know, y'all are some blessed women who have not run into any men who lie. Like, wow, y'all are from what country are y'all living in where niggas don't lie? Wow, I gotta send Naomi to that country where niggas don't lie. And then move on, people. That's what we do. You like Mega, I don't, and then we move on to another conversation.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. What else is going on? Porsche, tell me what else you listening to.
Well, Lulu, I was listening to that pretty much all last night, since the drop. Then today I actually, oddly enough, was listening to Mega Philosophy.
Hey, give him the thumbs up. Give Till the thumbs up, Porsche.
I have known you.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 years.
Yes.
Have I ever tried to be like, yo, why do you listen to Mega? Mega's whack. What the fuck is wrong?
No. Never.
Not one time. Why?
Never.
Because I respect her. If she likes Mega, that's great.
Yeah. So I was listening to Mega Philosophy, All Eyes on Me, Business as Usual, and Autobiography of Kirk Jones. So, and Lulu, of course. So
Lord Triple A says there's no such thing as the greatest ever. How's that for a new?
Can we table that? Let's table that discussion.
Eddie, how do you?
I mean, I think there's something to that because I think that there's always going to be someone that disagrees or someone who says, well, that's your perspective because you're from this place, you're from the East Coast. That's East Coast bias. Folks on the West Coast think that Tupac is the greatest, for example, or in the South is Scarface is the greatest, let's say, right? So there's always a debate, and it's could be based on many different factors. So maybe the answer is to say, all right, the best of, instead of saying the greatest of all time, because then that's another thing, right? If you grew up and your first exposure to hip hop was the early 80s, and for me it might have been the late 80s, early 90s, what speaks to us is going to be different. So you might think, I know you said the greatest album of all time is It Takes a Nation. Someone else might think Illmatic, or someone else might think Cuban Links. So it determines all the factors. So I'd much rather say, all right, the best of this era or the best, of this region or whatnot. I think it's a little bit more accurate.
All right. Kenneth said he's listening to One for All, Making the Soul Brother, Monkey Bars, and The Shining. That's a great playlist right there. Sean says LL and Jordan made the term GOAT into reality for more than 20 years. Too late to change that now. I mean, as far as the greatest of all time, I mean, I guess for me, it's just, I mean, even before Jordan, I mean, me and my friends will argue over who was better, Cool G Rap or KRS. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, for me, just coming up in the hood, there was always a, well, who's better, Magic or Larry? Like, I don't know if it's some hood shit. I don't know if they do that in the suburbs. I don't know. But for me, coming up in Philly, it was always who's better. Like, there's always going to be that competition. In Philly, it was who's better, Jazzy Jeff or Cash Money. You know what I mean? So for me, it didn't take LL to say, you know, greatest of all time. You know, it didn't take Jordan to say GOAT. It was just always a discussion about who was better. And then just as time went on, it went into, you know, well, who's better? Is Rakim better than Nas? Like, to me, that's almost just like anything with boxing and coming to America. Who's better? Rocky Marciano. Like that's just it. Mike Tyson beat Muhammad Ali. Like, this is before GOAT, Jordan, any of that. Like, to me, that's just the nature. And again, maybe I'm just talking Philly shit. Maybe in New York, niggas didn't talk about. I can't believe that people in New York wasn't saying who's better, KRS or Dan.
Oh no, of course, of course. But I think that the further you get out, right? So, you know, talk about sports, right? Of course, people made that comparisons, but now, you know, enter Kobe into the picture.
Right.
People thought Kobe was the GOAT.
Right. And like you said,
folks that watched Jordan would never give Kobe that chance. And then LeBron now is another argument. Right. People that think LeBron is going to be the GOAT, he ain't done yet. You know, if he wins a few more chips, to them now, they may not have seen Jordan as closely as you and I did,
right, to
even know. They're just watching highlights, but they're seeing every game LeBron played. So to them, you know, that's what's making the decision.
And great point. I just thought of something else too, because like you said, it's all based off of age. When somebody tells me Kobe is the greatest ever, my first reaction is you're 36 or younger. That's my first reaction. First thing I say, and it's always I'm dead on every time, because I've never met anybody who's over at least 38 who's gonna tell you Kobe is better than Jordan, because then you're gonna have to hear about the hand checking rule. You're gonna have to hear about there's no way Kobe scores 81 during the motherfucking Ron Harper, Anthony Mason days in the Garden. There's no way he's scoring 81 points. It's the same way everybody's like, dog, if it wasn't hand checking, Gilbert Arenas would be averaging 81 points a game right now. You know, Allen would have been averaging 60 points a game with no hand checking. So there's always the differences in everything. Nick told me one day, West Side Gun put out that that Griselda has the greatest discography in hip hop. Nick hit me like, Nick, Kill, come get your man. What the fuck? And I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at that. But I feel like there needs to be an asterisk put on it. And the reason, well, one, let me ask y'all, what do y'all think? Does Griselda Records have the best hip-hop discography ever? All of them. West, Benny, Conway. Thumbs down, thumbs down. What about you, Porsche? Thumbs down. Okay.
It's dope, though. That don't take away from it. It don't take away from it by me saying that, or anybody who would say that. See, that's the thing. I could never, just like you saying, I could never, if you say you just like you just finished talking about things you don't like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm 49, so I'm damn sure not going to argue with you. You see? So I'm not doing that. So if you say Griselda got the greatest one, cool. It's not going to change what I listen to on a daily basis. It's not going to make the sunrise or set any different. So big deal. That's what you like.
Now, here's the thing. This is why I said we have to put an asterisk on this, because I won't hold you. Griselda has a hard-ass discography. I mean, Conway, at least for me, has at least 3 from Rejects to Go to everybody to make what the Black Tape come next, to Everybody Love Everybody's Food. Those are all 4.5 or 5 mic classics to me in a row. That's a hell of a run.
You said to you, right?
Right, just to me. Like I said, just to me. To Benny, Benny's got Tana Talk, which is 5 mics to me. And he's got The Plugs I Met, which is 5 mics. Supreme Black. So, but the thing that I was saying is that the reason you got to put an asterisk on it is because they don't have any industry around. Meaning they don't have a record label saying you need a radio single. You need this. You need that. See, that's what cats in the 90s had to deal with. Like we said the other episode, Eddie, if Nas didn't have a record label to deal with, and Nas just got free reign to just do whatever he wanted to do, we're talking about Nas's discography in another light. So West Side Gun may be right. They may have the best hip hop discography as a crew because it ain't the Wu. Because after everybody's first albums besides Ghost, everybody's second album went downhill. But you also got to understand, it's just like we said, Eddie, you're playing in a different time. You're playing with no hand checking. You're playing where Griselda can drop 8 albums a year any way they want and say whatever they want to say and sell out shows. That's not the same rules that our artists had coming up. MC Light's discography wouldn't look so spotty if she was just able to keep making hip hop. But around 90, all the boom bappers record labels was like, okay, well, this New Jack Swing is coming in. Y'all need some old New Jack Swing. You need to get with Teddy Riley. See, that made everybody then stop looking, listen, and paper thin and have to come over here and start doing Roughneck. You see what I mean? Yep. So to me, Ed, when you said that about, your age, it made me think of how the rules in the NBA have changed and made it easier. It's the same rules for hip hop. You've got cats like Stove Top. I'm about to call them Stove Top Stuff. Cooks, you wouldn't be able to have no MC coming out of Syracuse. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at them for that, but you're right, Eddie. This is a whole new game that you can just upload an album and to the point now the labels aren't even uploading it. It's the artists. Like Kanye is still on Def Jam, but Def Jam doesn't even have the masters to upload it to iTunes. Kanye had. We never had that power in the 90s. You know what I mean? We never had the power to say, oh, here's my master album and I'm the one to get it duplicated and all that stuff like that. So I don't know. Hey, I'm sorry.
Sorry, can I just say something on this GOAT topic? I think it's important I think the conversation can happen, and I think that even as much as it's subjective and whatever, I think that the conversations can happen if you're talking to whatever size sample of people or whatever group size you are. And to me, criteria is the most important thing, because you cannot just say, well, who's the greatest of all time and leave it as a free-for-all. Because I've gone into many arguments, and it's been a while now, but where someone was like, well, no, Wu-Tang is better than Nas. And I'm like, but you're comparing 9 people to one guy. So like, let's square the playing field. I've said that 1,000 times, like square the playing field. And I think with any greatest of all time topic, anything that you're discussing, whether it's an album, an MC, a producer, a singer, a songwriter, you just got to square the playing field and make a unified criteria so that intelligent dialogue and conversation can happen. And I think people need to come equipped with facts and actual knowledge of what they're talking about. Because someone's going to come talk to me and say Drake is the greatest of all time, and I'm going to throw up in their face. But it's because they're coming with no knowledge potentially of anything prior. Because I would be thinking to myself, nobody in their right mind would say Drake is anything great if they only knew KRS, if they knew like anybody else, like fucking Young MC, like anybody. I like Young MC better than Drake. Tone Loc is better than Drake. Okay, so Tone Loc.
Lord, I think it all comes back to, again, like what Eddie said, it's the age. Because I don't think you're gonna find anybody my age who's 45 who's gonna say Drake is better than any.
But if I came with a criteria and said, "Hey, Kill, let's talk about people who whine on wax and divulge their diary entries, who's the greatest at that?" I think we can both come to the conclusion that Drake would be a top runner for that. I think it's just the criteria that matters, and to know obviously your audience, because if I'm talking to, I don't know, someone who's never heard of hip hop or listened to any rap, and I'm trying to discuss with them, like, well, what's the point? So that's just that's my little 2 cents for Lord AAA, who's trying to start shit over there in the chat room.
And I think too that I just think with the GOAT I mean, it's a fun combo to me, man. It's a fun combo. And,
and I appreciate Lord AAA. He always gets the dialogue going. He gets conversations started for sure.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
He's dope as hell.
I was saying it's a fun conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know he is totally against top 5 lists and all that. To me, it's fun because even if I'm not trying to, I don't want to debate you. It's still interesting for me to know why you think this person is who
of course.
In Atlanta, and my man Scorp, who owned the laundromat I used to go to, he told me Smooth B was the dopest MC ever, hands down. And it was like, I'm like, Smooth B, Notorious, Glorious, like that Smooth B. I'm like, is he even the nicest nigga in his group? Like, but let alone ever. But I'm just like, well, what is it about Smooth B that speaks to you like that you would say that he's better than all these other people? Again, I'm not here to change your mind. Like, whatever music speaks to you is what it speaks to you. I just think for me, it's fun because it's just like we all have different criteria, you know? And that's why to me, this has always been a thinking man's show. And what I mean by that is I like these shows, these Corona Chronicles, because there really is no topic. It's just like whatever kind of comes to mind versus the other topics we got to do some research on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, what are the top? Because people love saying to me, oh, man, this MC is better than that MC. And I'm like, well, why? And they don't know why. You know, and I'm like, well, what are your attributes? You know, my man Mike from Speaker's Clout. Why am I can't say Speaking Clout?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
What's up, Kill? What up, Porsche? Yench?
All right.
Good.
But
chilling, man.
But to me, that's the thing that, you know, it's just really about what's your criteria. Somebody will say, well, you know what? Primo is a better producer than Zilla because they're really big on discography. You know what I mean? Right. Another person doesn't care nothing about discography. I know people who are my age who say Jay Elect is a top 5 rapper. I find that asinine. I have no idea how you can.
I agree.
The man just dropped an album yesterday, like, and it ain't even his album. But you know what? Guess what? Criteria. They don't care about this guy. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing too. Mike, we're gonna go back in time real quick. How do you feel about intros and outros and all that? Like we was talking about the intro for Lulu. I don't want to hear no intro. I just want to hear bars. I don't want to hear, you know, paid in full snippets floating around in the air. How do you feel about intros?
The first time around, I don't really care. I'll listen to it because I like to get the whole feel to it. But when I go back, I'm skipping the shit. Right. You know? Right. And one of the most annoying intros ever is for Kicking the Door. You got to fast forward the Mad Rapper skit, yo.
I hate that too. I think that's what you were saying earlier about that you can't just skip through.
Yeah.
Somebody said that earlier about something on the Purple tape. Like before he gets to some song, you got to hear about Ghost and his Wallabies and everything.
Hey, yo, son, I got the blue and cream skit. You know what I mean? Son? Right. I like that shit though. It's fly.
Right.
I mean, you know? Tripping like his marble cake.
Yeah, marble cake.
Right. You know what I mean? Okay. So somebody was saying, did she say Drake in the GOAT? I think as MCs, I don't care about the GOAT title because I have to keep on growing and doing better. I mean, here's the thing, y'all. Did
someone think that I said Drake is the GOAT?
You should not say Drake is the GOAT. Trust in God on it. Okay, that's it. That's
if I say that, please send help, like FBI help, because I'm like being killed or something.
I forgot what the thing was. Somebody had on Twitter, like, what would you tweet to let people know, like, to send help? And I said that I hate my daughter because everybody knows Naomi is like my partner. And I knew it if I ever see Drake. If Porsche tweets out Drake is the greatest rapper of all time, I'm sending everybody to me. I'm like, yo, go.
Please do.
Out there because something
that is the SOS code. That is correct.
Hey, Kill, I got a quick question though. I got a quick question. So, talking about like errors and stuff like that, right? So Benny came out like recently, right? You know, in the 2010s, but his style is really like a throwback, right? And he's been on a good run. If he continued this run, let's say for another couple years, how high would you put him in your GOAT list? Like what do you think is his potential to go?
I think for me personally, he probably wouldn't crack my top 10 only because all he talks about is coke. And I need more. And keep it in mind, just because I work in the hood, I really honestly think like if I was like on Wall Street, I may not even like Griselda as much as I do. But the fact that I'm in the hoods of DC around crackheads and drug dealers and shooters every day of my life. Benny and Conway, that's like the soundtrack to my day. Like I literally could go out and shoot a video in front of the projects and be like, I could point to everything that Benny and them are talking about. So I just think Benny probably couldn't. Same thing with Pusha T. Right now, Pusha T has the track record to, if somebody told me Pusha T was in their top 10, I'm not mad at all. Because the clips came out in 97, you know, with the funeral. So I mean, like we're talking 97 to possibly people are saying he put out his best album Daytona, 2 years ago. So right. The fact that you've been around for 20 years and have never dipped, I can never say, yo, I heard Pusha come whack, except on that last Kanye album. That shit was horrible. Outside that, so if somebody said Pusha's in their top 10, that's cool. It's just my criteria. I need you to talk a little bit about something more than just Coke all the time. Even though his Coke stuff is right. It's dope. That's for me. Porsche, what about you? Can Benny crack your top 10? If he albums for
and it's for the exact same reason. I cannot, like, I always, whenever I talk about Benny, Conway, Westside, Griselda albums, anything like that, I always call it mood music, and people are always like, what are you talking about? That's not Joe Budden. And I was like, okay, well, that's not what I'm talking about. What I mean is you got to be in a certain type of mood to listen to these guys. And if they're not, like, I'm not waking up on Saturday morning while I'm making my coffee and blaring Benny talking about like Coke or Conway talking about cooking bricks in Vanessa's kitchen. Like, that's just not, I'm not listening to that at that time. If I'm in the gym and I'm trying to like go ham at the gym, sure. I want something that's going to hype, get me going, some energy, whatever the subject matter is. So no, I cannot put Benny or any of the Griselda dudes in my top anything for that reason. They're just not, they don't have enough range, in my opinion, in terms of content and subject matter.
Now, Mike, I think I know where you're going to go with.
You already know.
So if Benny keeps putting out 5 Mike albums, if the next 5 albums he puts out are Tana Talk 3, can he crack your top 10?
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
Oh, man. Probably, man. Probably.
I'm shocked you had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. Because they put out so much good content for me personally.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the way I felt about Wu as like a 12-year-old when Wu-Tang Forever came out is the way I feel now about Griselda. Like dead ass, Yeah. It's that raw, authentic street shit that I love, man.
Yeah. And I'm with you, Porsche. The only again, on a Saturday morning, I'm not listening to Benny, but on Monday through Friday, when I'm going to the project,
and that's the thing. When I need to get through like the tail end of my workday, of course, Benny is my go-to. That's the guy that's going to get me through that last hour. But like, no, not while I'm walking with my 18-month-old nephew in the park. I'm not listening to Benny. Like, I'm just not listening to Benny.
What about you, Jens? Can Benny crack your top 10?
Man, hell no. And that don't mean Benny's whack at all. Look, my top 10 is etched in stone. That's it. It don't move. It ain't nothing happening to my top 10. Everybody after that top 10, they dope. That's it. That's where we put them. They dope. That's it.
All right. No. I feel you. And again, what about you, Eddie? Could he make it?
Nah. And the thing is I'm gonna share something for comparison. I think it was the other night. I can't remember. It was last night. The other night, I was watching these 2 dudes from Dead End Hip Hop, and they were going back and forth. One was playing all Nas joints, and one was playing all Jay-Z joints. Right? They were going back and forth, and the thing that really stood out to me was not just how many joints they had, how many dope songs, but the variation of subject matter, the variation of feel and emotion. And I mean, it take you on a journey. And even though Nas, he has some dips in his discography, right? Let's not complain. Let's not pretend he doesn't. But if you go through throughout his career, and if you go into features, I mean, they were playing a lot of features. I mean, Nas has been killing his features, and just the subject matter and different topics, and that's what you touched on with Benny. I mean, he's just sticking to the same thing, but I think that's why Nas is up there with the GOAT combos, besides the Illmatics and It Was Written's and Stillmatics, but all the subject matter that he could cover and still be dope.
Right. Question. And I'm gonna think I know where everybody's gonna go with this. Can Mayman 365 said, can Rock Marciano crack the top 10? He's had a hell of a decade. You're 100% right. Hell of a decade. But I want to say, for me, Rock falls right in with the Griselda crew, and what he's talking about. And keep in mind, y'all, I'm old. Y'all know me. I'm an old man. I'm 46. I got a 14-year-old daughter. I'm thinking about college. I'm thinking about financial aid. Like, I'm trying to get retirement right. So, again, I really don't think if I didn't work in the hoods of D.C. every day, I don't know if I would listen to Griselda and Rock Marcy as much as I do. Because, again, if I'm putting on a suit every day, going to Wall Street, I can't see me playing that as much as I do. But based off of where I'm going every day, it fits in with me. So, I mean, I think that, yeah, and then like my man Sean said, Rock is on some pimp shit. See, Rock is like other aspects of Griselda. Like, to me, Benny is the coke dude, Conway is the shooter. And if we could bring in cousin Rock Marciano, he the pimp. So that's the other thing. We have
he's 70s black exploitation on wax.
Yeah, know, like 14-year-old daughter and pimps, I'm not really there right now with, but I love Rock. But again, I'm like Jens. I was just looking at my top 6, really 7 are etched in stone. It's Big J, Nas, Rakim, KRS, and Kane. And then LL falls somewhere between 10 and 7. And so 7 of those, Big J, Nas, Rakim, KRS, Kane, and LL are staying. They can't go nowhere. There's really room for 3 people to play with. Kendrick is creeping. He's like knocking on the door. Pharaoh, I think, is in here somewhere. You know what I mean? Pharaoh is in here. And for a while, I had Common while Kendrick is knocking at the door, Common is going out the door. So, like this, I'm like, yeah, 7 are in there. The other 3 spots are kind of up for grab. But again, look at what Kendrick has done with Good Kid, The Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn. Like, I don't know if somebody, and they're 3 totally different albums. So, and again, that's what would you say, Porsche?
Section 82.
Yo, you know what? Here's a moment, y'all. I've never heard Section 82.
Wow.
Gotta check it out, man. Check it out.
You gotta check it out.
Never heard. Now, here's the thing. That is a mixtape, right?
No, it's an album.
It's an album.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a major release album.
It should have been.
It was it was album format.
Okay.
Right.
And the only reason why I say is because I know nowadays mixtape is an album is a mixtape and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I forgot, Porsche, I think you was tagged in it. Somebody was saying how Organics is the Roots' first album. I'm like, nah, nigga, that was a demo. That ain't their first album.
Yeah.
Like, I credit major releases.
Yeah.
Album. So, yeah. So just, and I guess as much as people talk about Section 80, then I guess that would make him knock on the door even more, and it may knock him into the top 10. But I don't think that there are any other MCs nowadays that are going to be able to crack, the top 10 because of my subject matter rule. Now, if you don't give a fuck what they talking about, I know people don't care about no subject. Just bar me to death for the next 30 years and they'll crack your top 10. So again, it's just about whatever your criteria is, but most people don't even know their own criteria. You know what I mean? When you really ask them, like, yo, what are your top 5 attributes of an MC? I've had niggas. Here's the thing. Most niggas only know the word attribute by paying $2K all the time and making a man. That's really the only reason why niggas know what attribute means.
Fucked up, boy.
I'm just being honest. I said something about an attribute. My nigga's like, 2K? I'm like, yeah, nigga, with the attributes, right? So you might as well put them. Now, here's a good thing. Will Benny, if you said, like you said, Eddie, if you're talking about doing things by decade, Benny will definitely make the top of the decade. I definitely see Benny
along with Sky's Zoo.
No question.
Yeah, I think Benny would be top 5 if we're talking decade. Sky is right there.
That boy versus is colder than a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's it. But that greatest ever, it goes back so far. But then too, I think that people, especially these blogs, just like ESPN, somebody said something like Steph Curry is like a top 5 point guard ever, and I'm like, come on, y'all, stop. Like, stop, y'all. Like, stop. Like, you got him over Isaiah Thomas. Like, now, if you want to say he's the best shooter ever, I'll even give you that. But best point guard ever? Like, nah. Mike, what are you listening to right now outside of Lulu?
That fucking Stove God Cooks, that Reasonable Drought.
Yeah. That thing is special.
Ignorant Coke bars. I love it.
Now, here's the thing that I loved about it, because I think you told me about it too, and I was thinking in my head, do I have enough brain cells to take more cocaine in? Like, I'm already at my like max with Benny and Pusha, but this nigga Cooks is nasty. Tell me this: Reasonable Drought or Lulu?
Reasonable Drought, man. And I love Lulu. Lulu is hard as fuck.
Tell y'all a lot. That right there, this man is shocking me today, because I thought Benny was making top 10, and I knew Lulu was not. Everybody out there, please go listen to Stovetop Cooks. It's not Stovetop Cooks.
It's Stove Guy.
When you said Stovetop Stuffing.
No, I said Stovetop Stuffing. Yes, just go listen to Cooks. Listen to Reasonable Drought. You will not be.
And I bumped this today too, man.
Little brother Fishko show. Dope. I'm one of the few people on the planet Earth who does not love Little Brother. I know. I didn't. Get, I missed the boat on him. I just don't get it. But
he loves Fonte though.
Yeah, I love Fonte. I think, and I don't want to say that person's name because it's going to go down a rabbit hole, and I'm not going to say that person's name. It's a smile. Say it. I know whose fault it is. I didn't love Little Brother, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole today. Okay. Whew. All right. Eddie, what you listening to, man?
Man, I've been listening to some like old school, like Stevie Wonder Inner Visions. I threw on. I threw on some me and Portia was talking about it. Who was it we were talking about? Sitting at the dock of the bay and Otis Redding, some
Bill Withers.
And Bill Withers, yeah. I'm sorry, Bill Withers,
my absolute favorite, yeah.
Yeah, Bill Withers. And then, me and Portia was talking about this. We're always talking about Blue. So Blue re-released some of his old music on SoundCloud, and there was some joints that I haven't heard before. There was this one joint, Kill, I need to send you. It's a remix produced by Large Professor. Oof. And it's dope. So I gotta send you that one. And he had another joint that I never heard that was produced by Pete Rock as well.
Okay, that's dope. My man Boston was saying he doesn't mind a one-trick pony. And this is, to me, the beautiful thing about hip-hop, and this is why I love discussing hip-hop, not debating it, but discussing it, is that, somebody else doesn't mind if you talk about coke all day. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's dope. You know what I mean? To me, I've always said it. You know me long enough, it gets beat in the head. Music is about what speaks to you, which is why I don't want to argue with people about what y'all like and what I like, because it's literally, that's what music is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be able to speak to everybody. It's supposed to be able to speak to specific people, and it's dope when you do. I got something I want to do real quick in our last 15 minutes, because everybody loves the woo up here, right? Everybody's a fan of the woo.
Oh, my favorite music, period.
Okay, let me get this going. 2 seconds. All right. So if we had to put Liquid Swords up against Only Built for Cuban Links, going track for track, what comes out on top? So what I'm talking about is the first song on Liquid Swords is Liquid Swords. Mm-hmm. The first song after I get through a fucking intro is Knuckleheads. What wins in the battle, Knuckleheads or Liquid Swords? Porsche?
Liquid Swords, straight up.
Porsche?
Yeah, I got Liquid Swords on that one.
Liquid Swords. What about you, Ed?
I got Liquid Swords.
Swords. What about you, Mike?
Liquid Swords, man.
All right, I got Liquid Swords. Now,
Knuckleheads is hard though, but Liquid Swords, man.
Now, track 2 is Duel of the Iron Mike versus Knowledge God.
Ooh.
Porsche.
I got Knowledge God.
Knowledge God. Yes.
I'm going with the Jizza track.
Okay. Eddie.
I'm going Duel of the Iron Mike, man. Knowledge God is hard, but
absolutely it is.
The way it builds up. Whew.
All right, what you got, Mike?
Knowledge God.
And I got Knowledge.
So grinding up.
All right, now next up we got Criminology versus Living in the World Today?
Criminology.
Criminology. What you got, Jens?
I'll go with the criminology.
Ed?
Jens, I didn't throw something at you, man. You kill me. What the hell?
Wait, what are you talking about?
I think I'm going with Living in the World. And the funny thing is that might be like my favorite slept on joint from Liquid Swords.
Eddie is surprised. I'm stuck on Stupid.
Hey, the only reason I didn't go with the Jizza track because I don't like the singing. That's the only part I don't like. The
you didn't like the what?
Like the sing-songy hook part or whatever.
Right,
I love it. I love how he goes back and forth with meth on the hook too, man. That whole joint is dope.
All right, so Eddie, you got what? Jizza?
I got Jizza.
All right. Mike, what you got? Criminology?
I got criminology, brother.
And I got criminology. All right, so that's that. All right, then the next one is Incarcerated Scarfaces. It's gold. Porsche?
Incarcerated Scarfaces.
All right. Jens?
Scarfaces.
Eddie?
Incarcerated Scarfaces, no doubt.
Mike?
Both singles, both dope videos. I'm going Incarcerated Scarfaces, man.
I'm going Incarcerated. Right now, Ray is winning. Then after Incarcerated Scar. This is why I hate skips, because I can't fucking read the goddamn track list. That's a minute 20. Now we got Rainy Days versus Gold.
I'm going with Rainy Days.
Yes.
God damn it. Yeah, Rainy Days.
Ed?
Rainy Days.
Mike?
It's rainy days.
All right, I got Rainy Days too. Now we got The Guillotine versus Cold World. Porsche?
On this one, I'm going to go Cold World.
Yes.
Guillotine.
All right, Eddie?
I gotta go Guillotine, man. Inspector Deck killed that.
All right, Mike?
Guillotine.
Damn, I'm going with Cold World, but Ray won that one. This is a tough crowd. Now we got Labels versus Can It Be So Simple to Remix?
Come on. Yeah, I'm taking the Ray joint. Like, can it be also simple? Yeah.
All right, what about you, Jens?
Labels.
What?
Oh, Labels, man. It ain't even close to me.
All right.
Labels
A rehash, Ray and Ghost joint versus Labels.
Yeah.
One of the most creative tracks ever
Speak
dropped.
on it, Ed. You coming for the collection plate, Ed?
Come on, man.
You guys are nuts. You guys are out of your mind.
Labels was fire. How he flipped that with all the labels, like Tommy Boy, you know? Yeah, Labels.
Yeah, and I got
see?
Sorry, Porsche.
Speak your clout.
It was the remix. It's like you already, to me, that was a cheat code anyway. Like you bringing over one of the biggest songs from 36 on this. Like, so that's the only reason why I got that. Now I got a bot. Now I got Skip Shark Biters, another fucking skid. So Ice Water versus Fourth Chamber.
Oh man, that's a hard one. Those are both hard as fuck.
What you got, Porsche?
I'm gonna go with Fourth Chamber.
Fourth Chamber. All right. What you got, Jens?
Fourth Chamber.
Okay. Eddie?
Oh man, fourth chamber easy, man, for me.
All right. What you got, Mike?
Fourth Chamber, but that Ice Water is so hard. Fourth Chamber though. Killer Priest called a body.
I'm the odd man out with Ice Water on this, brother.
Stiff your brains out, open Al Pacino, pulling Al Pacino niggas.
Now we got Shadow Boxing versus Glaciers of Ice.
Ooh,
that's hard too.
That's another one right there. Porsche, what you got?
Glaciers of Ice is the better track, but Shadowboxing is the funner track. Does that make sense? But I'm gonna go with the Ray joint.
You going with Ray? Okay. What you got, Jens?
I'll go with the Glaciers.
All right. What about you, Eddie?
I'm going with Shadowboxing.
All right. What you got, Mike?
Glaciers of Ice.
Glaciers.
Shit is too hard.
I gotta go with shadow boxing, but that's outvoted anyway. All right, next up we got verbal intercourse up against Killer Hill 10304.
10304.
Yeah, 10304.
What?
Killer Hill is 10304.
Versus what?
Versus verbal intercourse.
And you pick the other joint?
No.
Oh.
I didn't pick it.
Oh, okay. Whew. Sorry.
All right, what you got, Porsche?
A verbal intercourse.
Everybody got verbal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verbal. Okay, verbal across the board. Okay. Then next up we got is wisdom body. Wisdom body up against investigative reports.
Oh man.
Ghostface
killed with somebody.
What you got?
I'm going with the Ray joint.
Jens?
Yeah, I'll go with Raekwon too.
All right, Eddie?
Man, I'm going to investigative reports, man.
That's a dope joint for sure.
Ray Ghost and Jizza, man. Investigative reports.
What you got, Mike?
Investigative reports.
Oh, God damn, it's coming down to me.
Yeah.
Investigative reports. All right. The next up, we got spot rushes. Nah, what the fuck? I can't even read this shit. Yeah, spot rushes versus swordsman. Porsche.
Sorry, someone just tweeted me and said they were wrong about labels. Sorry, what was the ones?
You're talking about swordsman versus spot rushes.
Swordsman.
All right, what you got? Yes.
The swordsman.
Eddie.
Swordsman.
Mike.
Yeah, swordsman. Yeah.
All right, and I got swordsman. Now we got ice cream versus I got your back.
Come on, you guys. This isn't clear across the board. It's ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say au contraire, mon frère.
Yes. If I could just throw something at you right now, I have a mouse sitting right here.
I got your back. I got your back.
What you got, Eddie?
I'm going ice cream.
Thank you, Eddie.
God damn.
What you got, Mike?
Watch these rap niggas get all up in your guts.
Thank you.
Ice cream.
And then we got Bible versus Wu Gambinos.
Wu Gambinos, and it's not close.
Yes.
Bible. Can't roll your eyes like you roll your eyes at my pick, man.
What you got, Ed?
I gotta go Wu Gambinos.
And what you got, Mike?
Wu Gambinos. Meth set that off so lovely.
Yeah.
All right. So Ray wins. Ray wins. I know
The
Lord
greatest album of all time.
Yes, it is the greatest album of all time.
This joint is it.
Here's the thing, though. And why I will always choose Liquid Swords as the better album. I feel that the album is more just a collection of tracks. The way Liquid Swords flows as an album, it's cinematic. I mean, both albums are cinematic, but I feel like the skits, going back to the skits, it kind of breaks up Cuban Links a little bit.
Man, Jizza went dolo. That's all you need to say. Jizza went dolo.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am not getting into this conversation. We are 7 minutes out, and I am going to
Ed, Jizza went dolo, Ed.
He did.
He did. I got one more for y'all. This should be interesting. We got Pete and CL's main ingredient up against Gangstar's Hard to Earn.
Both from '94 as well.
Oh, shit.
All right. Another fucking intro. Okay. First song, A Long Way to Go or In the House.
This is hard.
Yeah, this is tough.
That's hard.
She wants to pick In the House. Just do it.
Of course, what you got?
In the House.
Word.
What you got, Jens?
In the House.
Eddie,
And I'm never going to agree with Jens again. Let this be known. Just kidding.
In the house.
What you got, Mike?
I'm in the minority, but a long way to go.
All right, I gotta go within the house too. That thing is just something beautiful. Next up, Code of the Streets versus Carmel City. This is hard.
Ooh.
Code of the
Love
Streets,
Carmel City, man.
Carmel City. Man. Porsche.
What is it? Sorry, against Carmel City?
Code of the Streets.
I'm gonna go Code of the Streets.
All right, what you got, Jens?
Code of the Carmel City.
Jens always
Code of the Streets. I got Code of the Streets.
What you got, Eddie?
Yeah, I got Code of the Streets, man.
What you got, Mike?
Code of the Streets.
God, I'm out, but I love
Um,
City, man. I love that shit. So we got next up Brainstorm versus I Get Physical.
Whoa.
These are like the most equal albums ever. Like when you break it down like this.
Yeah, this is better than the just Raekwon and
It's
Ghostface.
harder for sure. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Brainstorm.
You going with Brainstorm? All right, what you got, Jens?
In the house. I mean, what you said? What was the other?
I Get Physical.
Get physical. Yeah, I gotta get physical. Word.
What you got, Eddie?
Damn. Love them both, man. It's like
yeah.
kids, man. But
yeah.
I Get Physical.
What you got, Mike?
I Get Physical, my favorite Pete Rock beat of all time.
All right, cool. Yeah,
I played it on loop.
and I got It Gets Physical. Next up, we got Tons of Guns versus The Sun Won't Come Out. Porsche,
The sun won't come out.
Sun Won't Come Out. Jens,
Tons of Guns.
Eddie,
Sun Won't Come Out.
Mike.
Tons of Guns.
I got Sun Won't Come Out. So we got Pete taking that one. All right, I Gotta Love versus The Planet. Damn.
Oh man.
That is so fucking good.
Oh my God.
I'm going with Gangstar Joint on this.
Yeah, what you got, Jens?
I'm going with Pete and CL. I love that Gangstar. It's just a little too short. I don't like the track length. So
All right, what you got, Ed?
You said it was I Gotta Love versus The Planet.
Versus
yeah.
The Planet.
I'm going Pete and CL on that one.
What you got, Mike?
Planet.
I got The Planet too. So
Fucking Planet is the shit. That shit is dope.
all right, so Speak Your Clout, The Posse Cut versus Escape.
Took my name from that shit, man.
Mike should go first on this one.
You're right.
Mike.
Speak Your Clout, man. I named it after it. I worship
There you
that
go.
shit, man.
There you go. What you got, Ed?
Speak Your Clout.
Jens,
Yeah, Speak Your Clout.
Porsche.
Speak your clout.
All right, so that's a straight run with Speak Your Clout.
That beat change too. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got The Wick versus The Main Ingredient.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
This
Ingredient.
is wild.
God.
Is anybody going Main Ingredient? It's The Wick, y'all.
Yeah, I'm going main ingredient. All right.
Not even fair.
Porsche, what you got?
Dewick.
All right, Jens got Main Ingredient. What you got, Eddie?
I'm going Dwick.
All right, what you got, Mike?
Dwick.
All right, The Wick is winning on that.
Nice and smooth.
Do I even want to count words from the Nutcracker? I'm not even
He's
saying that.
rapping.
I'm not
Not
saying.
very well, but he's rapping.
All right, so
Not very well.
words from the Nutcracker versus Worldwide.
I'm going worldwide.
What you got, Jens?
Worldwide.
What you got, Eddie?
Worldwide.
What about you, Mike?
Worldwide, brother. Worldwide.
Shit, I'll go to Nutcracker. I ain't mind the Nutcracker, but Pete still wins. All right, now Mass Appeal versus All the Places. Is anybody going up against Mass Appeal?
No way.
No.
Mass Appeal, fucking
Yeah,
way.
Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal wins on that. Blowing Up the Spot versus Tell Me.
Versus what?
Tell me. I'm gonna go with Pete and CL.
All right, what you got, Jens?
Gangstar.
What you got, Eddie?
I'm going Gangstar with that one.
What you got, Mike?
Gangstar.
Yeah, and I'm going Gangstar too. Now we got Suckers Need Bodyguards versus Take You There.
Why is he?
Nice.
I'm gonna go with the
Suckers.
Gangstar Joint.
All right, what you got, Jens?
Yeah, I'll go with the Gangstar joint.
What about you, Eddie?
Damn, it's like apples and oranges, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Really, but damn, that joint was. I gotta go Gangstar, man. That joint was hard.
All right, what you got, Mike?
Suckers Need Bodyguards is so ignorant. I love it. I love that shit.
Now you got Now Your Mind versus Searching.
I'm gonna go with Searching.
All right, what you got? Yeah,
I'm gonna agree with Cherche La Porsche.
Okay. What you got?
Patronizing me.
Hey, I'm. What was it? It's Searching, right? Yeah. I'm going with Searching.
Now Your Mind.
I noticed that after that, Porsche changed her name to just a P because she was getting all them comments, the Tommy Batola comments.
That was so funny.
So what you got, Ed?
Oh, I had Searching.
Searching. What you got, Mike?
Searching.
All right. I'm asked out with Now Your Mind. Now we got Mostly the Voice versus Check It Out.
I'm going with Check It Out.
Yes.
And once again, we agree.
Eddie?
Yeah, Pete and CL on that one.
What you got, Mike?
Mostly the Voice. I love how Guru explained his monotone voice finally, like, you know.
Yeah, I
Definitely dope. Definitely dope.
I got Mostly the Voice, but we still asked out. Now we got Fuck Around, Lay Around versus In the Flesh.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with In the Flesh.
All right. What you got, Jens?
Bela.
What you got, Ed?
I'm going Fala, yeah.
What about you, Mike?
Fuck Around, Lay Around. It's Smack a Nigga anthem.
Yeah.
So
I'm going
grimy.
Around. And then we got Coming for That Ass, and It's On You.
It's On You.
What you got, Jens?
Pete and CL joint.
What you got, Ed?
Oh, It's On You, man. That hypnotizing joint.
What you got, Mike?
Yeah, It's On You.
Yeah, and I got It's On You too. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Gangstar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, only 6 for Pete. That's crazy, man.
Damn.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah,
See, I like doing this because I do this myself at home. I go track like
I
that.
do it on my show too. We did Thriller and Purple Rain, and we also did It Was Written in Reasonable Doubt.
Nice.
Yeah, it's dope. Track for track will bring you to a different conclusion a lot of times than if you compare the entire album. So that's why I enjoy doing that like that too. That was dope, Kill. That was dope.
All right, y'all. As always, thanks for tuning in. Lord AAA, thanks for always fucking with us. Porsche, give them all the info.
Twitter is at Cherche La Porsche, not Tommy Mottola. Nothing to do with Tommy Mottola.
Yes, give them all the information, brother.
Give me a couple of seconds. Let me do a couple of things right quick. First, I want to say that April is Autism Awareness Month. All the parents, all the children are affected by autism. Get all your information together. Do what you can to help, whether you're the immediate family member or a friend of the family. Join the cause. Help those children out. Help out the educators. And that's that. Another thing I want to shout out, Yao, who lost his uncle. So R.I.P. to Yao's uncle. R.I.P. to Chafo's abuela. She passed recently. Shout out to that. And shout out to y'all. I'm glad to be back after a good little while. So happy to see everybody.
Yes, sir. Eddie, give him everything, good brother.
On Twitter at EddieD80 and on Instagram, Eddie Got Soul.
All right, Mike, give him everything about the Speak Your Clout podcast.
Speak Your Clout.
Yeah, you can find Speak Your Clout podcast on YouTube. Just punch that shit in. Speak Your Clout podcast.
Oh, I love it.
Just punch that shit in, baby. Punch it in.
Yeah, punch that shit in.
Punch that shit in.
It is there, son. You know. And then Twitter, Supervillain85, my Twitter, and Instagram, Mike Says _ Speak Your Clout.
All right, and y'all already know this with me. I don't know if I'm getting my OG account back, so we just going with Kill Apartment 5B on Twitter. Kill 889 on Instagram. We'll make beats for food. Check out some old episodes. We will be back, y'all. I'll check y'all later, man. Thank y'all.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Hey.